And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Are you ready for an unforgettable experience? Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's get hype.
Welcome, Cowboys Nation, to another episode of the Late Night Hype. Ultra special guest in the building today. I mean, he really needs no introduction, but we're still going to give him one. 3-time Super Bowl champion, a million-time Pro Bowler, amazing guy on and off the field, Darren Woodson. Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on, Woody?
Oh, man, I'm enjoying it, Will. That things are good, man. Even through this COVID stuff that's going on, man, there's been some silver linings, man. So, you know, my heart goes out to those that are suffering, though, man. There's so many people
Absolutely
around the country that are suffering. And, hey, our prayers are out to you. But at the same time, I hope everyone gets well.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things we get from doing this show here and having people on like you. I mean, you've been the best guest I think we've had. But people really reach out to these type of shows during this time, and they tell us, and I'm sure they probably tell you, hey, man, you guys are helping me get through this crazy period, man. So,
and it's crazy because, as humans, man, we're used to being around people. That's our thing. I mean, I know I am.
Yeah.
I'm the type of dude that I could never live on the East Coast because if there wasn't enough sun for me, no, I'm standing on a gloomy day. I'm standing by the light bulb.
I feel you. Well,
how you think I
need the light.
I feel you, man. Hey, listen, I'm over here. I'm right next. I told you on the phone the other day. I'm right next to Philly.
Yeah,
man. I'm in Ohio.
Right
so you ain't bad, but Philly, good Lord.
What? Dude, I ain't better, bud. Man, you better come on down here. It's the only reason why it's cool right now because the world is wacky. But trust me, winners out here will smack you in the face.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Man, what do you know?
Look at that.
He played against Philly. I don't know how many times. He know how it is over there.
Too many times, right? In a good way.
Man, yeah. I remember the old vet. See, y'all too young for the old vet.
Don't do that. No, Woody, I'm 48.
No, come on.
Yeah, take it.
Hey,
So,
Woody
hey,
on 48. I
looking
seen
like
all
you're
of it.
22.
There you go. Give me some more of that.
hey, Woody.
I seen it all, Woody.
We
My
seen
age is
you
a
with the
mystery.
big shoulder pads out
Big
there.
shoulder pads.
Big
Oh,
shoulder
before
pads.
we go, you gotta explain. Because listen, we talked about this on the last episode. We said, man, Woody came up in a different era when them shoulder pads made you look like you ain't have no neck.
None.
No neck.
He was getting hit.
None. And you know what? Who I followed though when I was coming up, I was looking at. You always look at the dress code.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You look at the dress code when you're in college. You start to look at the safeties that were playing at that time. And Atwater was the dude.
Oh,
yes.
Oh, yeah.
So
Steve.
I didn't know no better. I was like, okay, well, Atwater's about 240. I'm about 225. I'm considered a big safety.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear the big shoulder pads. And that's how I went. And then I'm gonna tell you when the swag definitely changed is when Dion came on with the team, Cowboys.
No
the first
way.
thing he said to me was like, hey, dog, come on, man. you got to get out them big ass shoulder pads.
He said you was not a lineman, bro.
Right.
Nah,
He probably
man.
told you, get out of them things.
But
man.
I'm telling you, that's the vision I have though when I think of the '90s Dallas defense and the '90s Cowboys. I think of those shoulder pads, brother. When it comes to the look, the actual look. But first off, I want to congratulate you on your second retirement because you were with ESPN, I believe, for 14 years after your first retirement. And you were a staple definitely for Cowboy fans. You called it straight down the middle. And I remember when I was on the phone with you the other day, I said, hey, man, is there anything off limits? You said, what? No. Like you said, I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it straight. And because that's how I do. And I'm like, excellent. Perfect. So how is life treating you in your second retirement? Because I know you have other different ventures you're doing right now.
Yeah, man. I tell you what, man, God's been good, man. And I've been blessed throughout my life to be able to transition. And a lot of, the one thing I have been able to do, which a lot of players haven't, is been able to transition from football to regular life. And I got to attribute that to the people that I've surrounded myself with. I mean, I got two brothers, one just passed, man, but
sorry.
two brothers who were a lot like y'all, man, like kept it real with me. I could have the best game ever, and they're going to remember that one missed tackle that I had. So, I mean, I felt like I've been grounded in the sense of, I played the game. It was a part of my life. It didn't define me. And my identity wasn't wrapped into that. I just knew I was a regular dude that just played this game on Sunday. And I wanted everybody to know that at the same time. It's just a game, man. Yeah, everybody's excited about it. And I was excited about it as well, but it didn't make me any better than anybody else. I was just a dude. So that was the joy that I had. And I think that allowed me to transition into regular life after that.
And into regular life, you have your podcast that you're doing now, and I highly recommend you guys to go out there and check out the podcast. It's entertaining. It's you learn some things there, and I really enjoy it. And one of the things I picked up from the coaching one you did was called Coachable. Are You Coachable? Was the title of that podcast, and it's interesting, man. Your podcast goes deeper than just football. Yeah, and I picked that up when we were talking. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, but what the podcast is based on interesting stories. It's not centered on sports. So we're interviewing doctors, lawyers. We just interviewed Rich Froning, who's the king of CrossFit and is considered the fittest man on earth. And yesterday we had a guy on a doctor on that talked about hormones. So we go across the gamut, man. It's not, sports is not just our interest. And my passion is in the fact that I love to hear interesting stories.
Yeah.
And Tyler Klutz, who we spoke about earlier, is he played 7 years in the league, bounced around. Dude, I'm telling you, there ain't a team that in the NFL and the CFL that Tyler Klutz didn't play on. He played on every team imaginable. But he went 7 years. A guy named Ben Gibbs is my other guy who runs Point. And I'm a partner in a commercial real estate firm. Tyler and Ben are a couple of brokers that work with me. And we've all had to make that transition from the sports world into corporate America. And we've had these conversations, man, at lunch, just sitting at our desk. talking about, hey man, look, football's over with, but let's talk about the interesting stories, like we were sitting at a bar, just about people's lives. So today we had Troy Aikman on for example. We're going to be dropping Troy here in the next week or two.
Nice.
And
Nice
we
insight.
didn't really talk that much about football. We just talked about his life, man. And if you know Troy, people don't realize Troy had so many ups and downs in his life. Like there were times where he thought my football career is over with.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he found a way to bounce back, and those are the stories we want to tell. We want to talk about the full transparency of when he was down and when he got back up, and what it took for him to do that.
Right.
That's the inspirational part of it, because I mean, we all see the football side of it, but really people gravitate what you just talk about, the everyday life, because people deal with that more, because everybody can't do it in playing pro football. But when you're talking about falling down and getting up, everybody can deal with that. And when you see a person that's played in the sports field go down and come back up, it inspires you even more, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. My mentor once told me, he said, you learn more from your failure than your success. And when you look at it, you really say to yourself, man, I learned a lot from my failure. And you're right. When I look at sports, what it does, collectively speaking, it builds character. So for people that are trying to find an alleyway or a lane to life, sometimes you can gravitate towards sport. You can be good at something and then relate that to everyday life and everyday living.
Yeah.
Right.
You told an interesting story, speaking of stories, about what coach was it? Lovey Smith, when you were talking about coaching. And I found it interesting because of all the coaches to bring up, you brought up Lovey first. And then that got me thinking, well, I know he got some interesting stories. He was coached up by Bill Parcells and Jimmy Johnson. What was it like to play for two Hall of Famers like that?
Totally different kind of style coaches. Totally different. You would think they would both be hard-nosed Bill Belichick type coaches. Now, Parcells, he was more along that line of Belichick, because he basically mentored Belichick coming up. Jimmy was different in the sense of Jimmy was more of a CEO type of coach. He did a great job of putting not only his coaching staff together, but drafting. He knew exactly what he was looking for in a draft. And those guys were alpha dogs, dudes that loved to play, guys that were basically gym rats who wanted to hang out all day and talk football and compete at the highest level. And he found a way, with all the talent that we had, but with all the characters, dude, we had some fools on that damn team. Like, I'll tell you what, if we had social media back then, we are not lining up to play on Sunday.
Off air stories for that one.
Exactly. The advent of the camera would have definitely, cost us back then. But he was just, he was brilliant in the sense he knew what buttons to push when he needed to push us. And again, with all the characters we had in that room, it spoke volumes to who he was, because he made us play at the highest level. On Sunday, we all came to play at the highest level. And the week of practice was brutal, man. I can tell you this. Under Jimmy, I felt like the games were easy. It felt
really?
It was like almost like a calming sensation when we went out to the games. Because Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, man, we were banging. We weren't running around with shells on and shorts. We were full pads banging on Fridays, and it was brutal, man. So, the joy was going out to the playground on Sunday and playing those games. That's when the good times happened with Jimmy.
So it's true. If you guys didn't win, y'all didn't eat, right?
Might as well. You might as well, dog. It was gonna be like I used to always say. The one thing about Jimmy, he was always looking for the positives. If you won, the game could be 10-7. He's going to find the positive silver linings in that win, and it's going to be a celebration. Like, a win is a win. You count it however you want to count it. But when you lost, it was like a death in the family, man.
Wow.
It was the worst feeling walking in there. I remember we spoke about Philly earlier.
Right.
The death area.
Yeah.
I want to know this one.
So I give up a touchdown. It was like I'm telling you, man, the ball is in the air. That dude ain't even caught the ball yet. Dude runs a double move on me. I bite on it. He goes up the field, runs a 9. They throw a ball. The ball is in the air, and I'm thinking about Monday. He ain't even caught the ball yet, and I'm like, damn, Jimmy gonna kill my ass in this film room on Monday. So, I mean, that's the fear you played with when you played with the Cowboys in the early 90s.
Hey, that's, in my opinion, don't you?
That's the fear we like.
That's the fear we
like. That fear.
Yeah.
We ain't been seeing that fear a lot lately, Woody.
No.
Yeah.
Hey, can you confirm this? You might deny it though, but there's a story out there that there was a guy out there with asthma, and Jimmy walked on the field, and the guy was going through his positions right with the asthma. And he said, "What's wrong with this guy?" You know, and they said, "Well, he got asthma." And he said, "Well, the asthma field," and I'm saying it PC, is over there. You know,
yeah.
Is that the type
and he
of coach
pointed to the parking lot. Yeah, so that's, you know what, man, that was before my time, but I heard that story so many times.
It was embedded.
Yeah, dog, I'm telling you, and that's how he ruled. He ruled by it was fear in a sense, but then it was also a mutual respect that he had with the team, because his ultimate goal, and he told you when you walked in the door, it's not to just to win games, it's to win championships. And I was on board from the jump.
And now I know you had a couple coaches in between Jimmy and Bill, and James had a question about one particular guy in Barry Switzer. Go ahead, James.
I wanted to ask this question because some people gave me some flack because I'll say, man, that Barry Switzer was garbage for it, because I was just frustrated when Jimmy was gone. I was like, Barry Switzer was just garbage for Dallas. And I want to know, when Jimmy left, the transition, what was the transition like going to Barry Switzer, and what was kind of like the reign under him? Because it seemed like when Jimmy left, the beginning of the end did start, and you saw a lot of the undiscipline we heard about. We seen the Troy Aikman, truth, about his life, and he was talking about how, hey, when Jimmy's gone, don't worry about it. Barry Switzer, he's cool. I played under him. He's cool. But it didn't look like it. What was it like under him?
Well, I mean, look, first of all, it was not fair. It's not fair to Barry Switzer in any way to cut, to bring him when he came in, man. He was in a no-win situation. We had come off 2 Super Bowl championships. The entire staff was handpicked by Jimmy.
Right. Wow.
And these guys this coaching staff that Jimmy had been together since Oklahoma State. I mean, Wanstead, Butch Davis.
Yeah, right.
The list. I mean, Dave Camp. The list had gone on from guys that went from Oklahoma State, followed him to Miami, and then to the Cowboys. North Turner. So there's a lot of guys. There was a lot of coaches that were on that staff that followed Jimmy. So when Switzer came in, you can imagine the feeling that we had when Jimmy was let go. When Jimmy departed, man, a lot of us were pissed, including myself, because look, I felt like we could make history. We had a run. We could make a huge run, like 4 or 5 championships in a row. I mean, that's the moment we were in with Jimmy. And so there was some spite that he was no longer there. And then Barry comes in. He's dealing with a coaching staff that are all Jimmy guys who felt like, well, if Jimmy got fired or Jimmy got let go, then I should be the next guy up. So he's dealing with that problem.
Ooh, okay.
And he's dealing with a team that again is upset about Jimmy not being there. I think Barry Switzer was always behind the 8 ball, but this is the thing. The one thing that Jimmy made it easy for was he made it easy for guys like Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and Ken Norton, the leaders of that team in the early 90s. He made it easy on them because those guys like Troy didn't have to worry about disciplining other players or convincing other players to watch extra film, do the little things. Jimmy had all that. He just told you, hey, go play ball. If someone gets out of line, that's me. I got that. I just want you to play at the highest level. And that was, as a leader on those teams, you had that feeling of, man, I can just go play my game. I don't have to worry about getting everybody else lined up and doing the right thing. Jimmy's got all that. And that's why guys like Mike and Troy and Emmett, and the list went on, that offensive line, that's why they played at such a high level, because they didn't have to worry about it. Jimmy took care of all that. So when Jimmy left, there was an instant vacuum. Instant vacuum. First of all, he was a great drafter. He could draft and pick with the best of them. When you pick a guy like Leon Lett in the 7th round that we had on those football teams, that's telling you this man could draft. He knew what he had to do. He had to do. The draft started to get worse. We weren't bringing in those alpha dogs. We were losing guys that were free agents at the time who were big time players for us, not only on the field, but in the locker room, who were the glue of that organization. And now we were trying to fill that void, and we weren't drafting the right players. We were taking chances on things. And eventually, man, the discipline wasn't there. And that's no offense to what Barry was or who Barry was, but it just wasn't the same. And that's the reason when you started to see what could have been easily a dynasty.
Yes. Oh my gosh. It just hurt my soul again right now. Woody, we opening up old wounds.
All wounds. And just to add some context to this, Barry Switzer went 12-4, 94, 12-4, 95.
He had
y'all went 10-6 and 6-10. Then he got the boot. Can you imagine? So, even in his new era, well, not going to talk about Mike McCarthy, but the era right before that, the Jason Garrett era. What would we do if we went with 12-4, 12-4, 10-6?
Yeah,
we would have been crazy with that.
Yes,
that's how good that team, that 90 team was, man, or still is.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. I mean, and part of me, guys, I'm telling you, man, part of me is like, okay, what? And I've talked to some of the guys that are playing now, the Sean Lees of the world and the Dax, and I've been telling them, look, man, what we did in the 90s, that's over with. I mean, I'm sorry to say it, dog.
Tell the coach that.
I mean, look, all we are old dudes that play the game. Over with. I'm serious,
you know
dog.
What, Woody? But you know what happened? Y'all beat up all of those teams, and they didn't forget about it.
No,
they didn't. They rub it in.
Yeah. I mean, but what we did, I just don't want these guys to worry about, have that gorilla in the back of the room saying,
holding over your head.
Yeah. Now we got to do it. Dude, this is a different era. Man, and I'm praying that this team gets back to those winning ways. And I'm hoping, I pray that Dak Prescott is the quarterback when that happens.
We about to talk about it.
Well, yeah, we can go right in. We can go right into Dak.
Great segue, Mr. Woody.
Yeah, you've been making rounds lately. I don't know if you saw that for the Pat McAfee show.
Yeah.
On your comments on Dak Prescott, which a lot of us, we kind of have the same type of feeling about Dak. Right. But for those who didn't see it, or for those who don't know, how are you taking this whole Dak Prescott thing, or how do you feel about Dak Prescott? I know you work close to the actual practice field, so you get a chance to see him a ton.
Yeah, I get a chance, and with COVID, I haven't had our office has been shut down, but our office is at the Cowboys facility at the Star, at the Cowboys headquarters, and we're on the 3rd floor, and we overlook, my commercial real estate firm overlooks the practice field. So I can see the guys, they come outside, they in years past, they come out and they run and train and do all those things. And, I've made the comment before, I've seen this kid come out there in the morning, get his workout in, and go out and go back inside. And I don't know what he's doing, but he'll come back out and he'll throw to the 4th, 5th receiver, the special teams guy. He'll just throw. And it reminds me of a guy that I played with the same type of work ethic, and that was Michael Irvin. I mean, nobody was going to outwork Michael Irvin. And there were so many times, through my career where I wanted to do that. And I tested him, and it didn't work out the way I wanted it to work out. But he just, there was a relentlessness to Michael Irvin, and I see that in Dak, and I know he's all in. And
Love
if you
it.
talk to everyone in that locker room, they'll tell you the same thing. Like this guy came in his rookie year, and we were calling him a leader.
Yeah.
In that locker room, and that's saying something. So especially when you know who the guy is, back then was Tony Romo.
Yeah.
Right.
Now this guy steps in, and they're instantly the offensive line is rallying behind him. So I just think that this organization needs to rally behind him. It's time. He needs to get paid. I think there's got to be some give and take through any kind of negotiations. There's always some give and take. I still think he needs to get paid the number that has been out there. And I'm not saying go over 40 or Patrick Mahomes numbers or whatnot.
Right.
But he's deserving of being one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the league, hands down, because that's the number right now. And then next year the number will change, and then after that the number will change all over again. And I'm not seeing everybody being upset about Carson Wentz getting signed last year or Jared Goff getting signed. Why are they so concerned about Dak's money?
That star.
Get his money and let's move on. And the Jones family needs to take care of him.
That star. You heard it here. Darren Woodson. Okay, echoing the same things we've been saying, and it has nothing to do with, how people like to say you have a biased or Dak biased or you're a Dak this and Dak that. Guys, I just want to win, and Dak Prescott can do it. And you see that man more than we see that man up close and personal, and obviously we see the games, but, it's very important. You just talked about it, the work ethic, the the leadership. I think people don't take that into consideration when it comes to Dak Prescott. They want to just put on a film. Okay, put on a film. He's better. So
and I think he's under Coach McCarthy. I think he'll take his game to the next level as well. But listen, I guess I'm a little sensitive about the fact of not having a quarterback. I've gone through this. I've gone through the feeling of, okay, I had one of the best quarterbacks ever played the game in Troy Aikman, and then Troy retired and moved on, and we were in purgatory for 4 years, dog.
Wow.
And we had quarterbacks that came in who couldn't throw a dump down pass. And we were getting I ain't gonna say it.
Say it.
Oh,
say it.
We were getting our asses kicked because we couldn't move the ball offensively. And this went on for like 4 or 5 years, man, of my career. And it didn't matter what the defense did, didn't matter what the running backs did. It was the quarterback. We were in purgatory. We just didn't have a guy that can lead us there. And and part of me is feeling like that the Jones know that. They've been there before. They went through this experience as well. So why not get this man signed and let's move on?
Yeah, because I even heard, I think it was a documentary you was on, and you was saying in practice, and it was talking about the Tony Romo. I think that you was talking about, him throwing the ball or something like that. Was that you?
Yeah, that was me. I saw, look, we had at the time, was it Quincy Carter, Chad Hutchison, and Drew Henson, I think, were the quarterbacks back then. Damn, I can't believe I remember those names.
you sped them out like that.
I don't know how that happened. But Tony came in, basically was the 4th or 5th dude on the depth chart. And there was something about how the ball came out of his hands and the swagger that he played with. And this is coming from a guy who was a free agent, undrafted, and Sean Payton was actually, the offensive coordinator at that time. And Payton was always smiling when he was around Romo, and he saw what Romo could do at practice. And I was cussing Romo out sometimes. I'm like, damn, dude, you're playing scout team, but you're holding the ball too damn long. That ain't gonna happen in a real game.
Right. You ain't never gonna play.
You ain't never gonna play. Yeah. But he was that much better than everybody else. And that's when I was thinking, okay, that's when I was thought in my mind, like, I don't care if he's off the street. If he's the best one, let's play him.
Yeah.
And Parcells just wanted to groom him for a couple more. He knew this team wasn't ready for Romo. So he needed to groom him and then get to where he wanted to be. And Romo had a great career.
It was a beautiful thing. Hey, Wood, I want to ask you a quick question. I know we're talking current stuff, but I got some people in the feed, my guy Reddy Red, my guy Denley, about the rivalry with the San Francisco 49ers. Like, how intense was that? I mean, that was like the rivalry. I remember I was young. I thank you for the compliment saying I was young, but I seen them Steelers Cowboys in the 70s. That was the rivalry. But when them 49ers came into playing them 90s, dog, that was crazy. How intense was that, especially with the Dion factor?
And he did PI Michael Irvin. I had to say that
absolutely. Absolutely. Look, the two teams were evenly matched, and you watch the games as a player. You play your game, and then the next day you basically, back then we didn't have all the internet and all that stuff in the early 90s,
right.
So we were like reading the paper back then. I don't know if y'all know anything about that.
Yeah, USA Today. I know all about that. Opening that joker.
Yeah, Will, I know you don't.
He don't know. Will don't know nothing about it.
All I did was deliver the papers. That's it.
So we used to read the paper, man, on Monday morning, and I used to be, sit there and go, okay, I know what we did. What did they do? And it was vice versa. You talk to the guys like the Merton Hanks and Tim McDonald's and Steve Youngs. They would say the same thing. They were concerned about what we were doing on the other side because we knew the matchup athletically and talent-wise was that close. And so the key was, how do you get home field advantage? How do you get home field advantage? And I used to watch them and go, damn, they play in the worst division in all of football. they used to whoop everybody's ass in their division. I mean, they wouldn't lose a game in the division, but on our end,
you got the Giants.
You got the Giants who had won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. The Redskins who had won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And the Eagles were stacked as a football team. So it was like, for us, Jimmy used to always say, hey, man, don't worry about all the outside noise from the other conference or from the other divisions. You got to be the beast in the East. If you take care of the East, you're going to have a shot to win this thing. So, it was something that you'd always watch on the opposite side to see what they were doing in the NFC West. But you knew, man, that every week in the East, it was going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight. And you had to get through it to find a way to get home field advantage.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Nice.
We can't go without talking about the triplets, right? We can't go away without talking about them. And we know we just saw The Last Dance. And everyone's talking about, man, what if there was a Last Dance for the 90s Cowboys? You talked about it earlier. You talked about if it was social media, probably wouldn't be able to line up on the field on Sundays. Right. But can you give us a little insight on what it was like playing with not just Mike and Troy and Emmett individually, but playing with them as the triplets, because they were kind of a package deal in the 90s.
Yeah, and the thing about it, and we spoke to Troy today, Troy made this comment. He said, all of us knew that, he said, I didn't win until, Michael was the first one in. Michael didn't win until Troy came in, but Troy didn't actually win when he came in. He was losing. Then Emmett came in and they still hadn't really won. I think they went 7-9 in Emmett's first season. So when they really turned this thing around, it was with all three of them were playing at their highest level. And that's when the winning record started to shine. So he knew, he said, look, all three of us needed each other to win this. And not only that, but, he talked about the offensive line and how dominant they were and how involved they were. So look, man, I firmly believe, and we talk about the triplets now, we always try to compare even today's game, we're always comparing, the triplets on the Dallas Cowboys.
Every year is a different triplet.
Every year.
Yeah. And on other teams as well, who are the triplets. But man, I can say this about those three. Michael Irvin was probably one of the most competitive men that I've ever been around. And he loved competition, whether it be in practice, playing dominoes, you name it. And Emmett was not far off in the same way as far as the competitive spirit, the will and the want to win. And Troy was the dude who brought his lunch pail to work every day, man. I mean, he was the most consistent person I've ever been around as far as an athlete. You knew where he was going to be. If you were thinking about robbing Troy Aikman, you knew absolutely where he was going to be. he did the same thing every damn day. So, and when your best players are your hardest workers, that's when you got something.
Exactly.
And those three, man, they set the bar, and we all had to follow, especially on that opposite side of the ball. Now, defensively, we had our own monsters over there, man. You had the Charles Haley's, and Tony Tolbert doesn't get enough credit.
Man, he doesn't get enough credit.
Ken Norton, when I first got in the league.
Norton was nasty.
Norton was a dog, man.
Russell Maryland?
When we let him go, when he was able to move on to San Francisco.
I know you was mad about that one.
I was upset.
I know I was mad when they said, and then he went to San Francisco, Woody. Yes. I said, oh, hell no. We in trouble. I said, we in trouble now because that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. But there were so many good players. James Washington, another, we used to call him drive-by back in the day. And then Deion comes by back and it comes through in 95. Man, the organization or the team early in those 90s, man, again, great players that wanted to work and had the will and the want to win.
Well, let me ask you this, Woody. For this 2020 team, big emphasis been on turnovers, takeaways, being aggressive, not playing it safe to the vest anymore. We lost number 31, Byron Jones. He's going to the Miami land. So we got a group of new guys out there in a refresh and a rejuvenated front four. Can you explain to some of the people how beneficial this would be for this particular defense to have I guess, a better front four and some new guys with different philosophies out there?
Yeah, look, I watched the draft, and I remember before the draft, McCoy got signed.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, that's different because what we've seen within this organization is that they've been running a 43 defense. And they really haven't, outside of DeMarcus Lawrence, you haven't really seen a guy that's like a dog, like up front. You know what I mean? There's some guys that can play here, but they're normally undersized guys.
Yep.
They might be dogs, but they're undersized. They've gotten bigger up front. This is not the same philosophy that they've had defensively, especially up front, where they were quick guys that got up the field, that were disruptive, that Warren Sapp look. No. These dudes are big now, and they're going up to 300 and above. So that's different. So that means that they're focused on, we got to stop the run. We got to win the line of scrimmage. That's one. The guy who I feel makes the defense go is DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
Good. Say it loud, because so many people hate on him, Woody. So many people say.
And he had an off season. Let's call it what it was. He didn't have a good season last year. I'd tell him that. Maybe I wouldn't say it to his face. I'd do but he had an off season last year. Now, the expectation, because what I've seen in him in the past, is that, he's going to pick it up. Yeah. He's going to pick it up. So, and I know in the locker room, he said that. He made mention that, that season, that's over with. I'm coming back next year. He's the guy that makes it go. And if he can put pressure on his side, and if Aldon Smith comes in, and I'm not sure who Aldon Smith is yet. There's a whole lot of, maybes. We just don't know who Aldon Smith is. But Aldon Smith is like half the dude that he was at one point. Hey, man. Now you got pressure.
Hey, Woody.
Yes.
I didn't mean to cut you off, but my guy is training Aldon Smith right now, and he's saying he looked like a Greek god. He's saying he just like an old battleship that just been sitting for a while, and you just got to crank him up. He's saying he's looking every bit of what he used to be.
All right, but hey.
He said 5 years.
Hey. Okay now.
Is there? And we speaking positivity in the air, Woody. That's all.
No, we keeping it real.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it real.
We're gonna keep it real.
Honestly, no, seriously, because give us a player's perspective on sitting out that long. I know you ain't sat out and came back, but good. That long.
That's a long time.
5 years, man.
That is a long time. And y'all know this. Father Time ain't ever lost. Like,
no, he's undefeated, man. He undefeated.
0 lost.
What Tom Brady's like, what's that again?
Yeah, now you got one there. You got one. We're going to find out a lot about Tom, too, this year. We're going to find out about Tom.
We really will. Yeah, true that.
But look, at that position, and it's such a physical position at the defensive end position. I've watched a guy like Charles Haley play so many years, man, and it's brutal, man. It is brutal. Guys are trying to take your knees out and do all those little things. So, to be outside of the game, you can't tell me his athleticism is going to be the same. I hope it is, but I got reservations to say that he's going to be. That's why I'm saying, look, I'm not expecting that the real Aldon Smith. I'm expecting maybe 50 to 60% of what he was back then, but give me that, man. Yeah. Just give me that. Give me a guy on the opposite side that Quay gave you numbers last year. But we need numbers from that guy on the opposite side.
Guys,
what do you feel about Randy Gregory?
And, that's another one, man. You just, Randy didn't play last year. And there's so many question marks. Like, listen, super talented. Super talented. But, the key in the NFL is this. Are you available? Can you be available? Availability means more than talent. Are you available? Because availability means you're going to be consistent. You're going to play out there every week. You're going to be consistent. We know who you are. We know what you're going to give us. But if you're never available, and it's not due to injury, it's self-inflicted. You know, these are self-inflicted situations, so it's hard to really justify, is Alden going to be there for 16 games? Is Randy Gregory going to be there for 16 games? I'm hoping, but there's a whole lot of, you know, question marks around that.
So let me ask you this, though. You know, I got to say this because a lot of people have been clamoring about it. What happened to that void since you've been gone as it relates to the safety play? You know, we've been trying to look for that situation. Roy Williams stepped in for a cup of coffee. He was that guy, but then I guess the NFL kind of caught up with him when they had the Palamamus of the world. How do you say that man's name? And Ed Reed kind of like pushed him way to the back. So can you fill in the nation on that? What happened with the safety play with the Dallas Cowboys?
Well, I think there's one is the last time they drafted a safety that high was Roy, and trust me, Roy in his first 5-6 years, though, there was nobody like him.
Beast,
right?
He was an absolute beast. But if you want a safety that's going to give you what you're looking for, you might want to draft him early. You might want to draft a dude, you know, earlier. That like Minka Fitzpatrick, wasn't Minka there a couple?
Minka was available last year. We could have traded
that first one. Yeah, could have got that first
there's
rounder.
been safeties that maybe if you want to get better. Look, Heath was a good player. He was a serviceable player, but he was a special teams player that was playing safety.
There you go.
If you want a guy, go draft a guy early that plays the position.
Yeah,
and that's the reason why I think they're in purgatory. I don't think it's anything to do with me. I mean, people are like, man, you need to come back.
They do.
Come on back. I'll be talking trash about me if I walk back on that. I ain't going back.
I mean, you make a great point, though, because if you look under the last 10 years, they don't draft defensive backs, not just safety, defensive backs that high. They've only drafted 3 defensive backs in the first 2 rounds 3 times. That's it in the last 10 years. So I agree.
The last 10 years?
Last 10 years. Cheetah Bear Awuzie. I'm sorry, since 2012. So I'm not sure about 10, but I don't think so. It happened in 2010 either. No, Cheetah Bear Awuzie, Byron Jones, and who else am I missing? Oh, Mo Claiborne. The only 3 defensive backs they've drafted in the first or second round. I mean, you can't expect to have, you know, great DB play if you're not going to invest in it. And that's something that Mike McCarthy did in Green Bay. They drafted at one point 4 straight defensive backs in rounds 1 and 2 back-to-back years. So he likes to invest, and he brought in this guy, HaHa Clinton-Dix. What do you think about, you know, a veteran like HaHa coming in? I know that's a position you played. You've obviously saw how I played the last 7 years, I believe. You know, you think that's an upgrade there? We'll
see. Look, here's my question.
He said, we'll see. He said, we'll see.
You're such a pessimist. You're such a pessimist.
No, we want the truth.
We want the
truth.
Well, what happened in Washington? Why did Washington allow him to move on?
They try to play that man inside the box. You know, some people can battle. Look, Woody. Some people can battle down inside the box. Some
we
people
know he don't tackle.
Free. You know, he just like to line up side by side and then pull you down. You know, he wasn't.
He's that dude.
Woody, you know.
Yeah,
look, I'm the jury's out on my. Look, I know one thing about HaHa. He understands the defense.
True.
He knows McCarthy and he understands what they're going to be running defensively. So he's going to have a clear advantage as far as understanding that, and then teaching the young guys or the guys that aren't familiar with the defense, teaching them along the way. So you always need a guy that way. But I'm not looking at HaHa being a guy. Yeah, I'm not looking at like 2-3 years from now to say, okay, HaHa was the dude. I think he's going to be a serviceable guy, and hopefully they can bring someone else on as time goes on. But look, you know, the one thing you know what you're going to get. You're going to get consistency with him. He's not going to get beat on some of the dumb things, and he's going to be where he's supposed to be, and he's going to make some plays for you.
Well, if you're the GM of the Dallas Cowboys, would you give up next year's first-round pick for
Go ahead.
Jamal
I was about to say, yes, that's my guy.
Wait a minute, did you just say yeah?
Yes. And look,
that was the next question.
He's from Carrollton, Texas. He's a Texas boy. And the one thing I like about Jamal is that he's a player, man. He's just a football player. I mean, he may not be the fastest dude in the world, may not flash all the time, but there's something about him that just shows you that he's passionate about the game. Like Jamal could have played in the 90s because his passion and understanding of what he wants to get accomplished on the football team. It just pops. You turn the film on, it pops. You see him. He's running balls down from behind. He's doing the little things it takes. He's cussing his own players out at times. And that's the type of guy you want, because I don't care to have the nicest guy all the time on the football field. I want the dude that's going, sometimes, you just going to be an ass.
Yeah.
You're just going to be an ass, but you're going to show up on Sunday. And I think he brings a little bit of that, man. He brings that edge, that edginess to him. And listen, we always take chances on first round. We don't know what we're getting when we get even first, second, third round. We don't know what we're getting. You know what you got in Jamal Adams.
I've been saying it. He's an all-pro.
No, come on.
Yes.
And he's 24.
Yes. You know what you get.
Yeah, he's 24, 25. But it's funny you brought up being, not being nice on the field. I just happened to come by an old clip of you on Will Cain's show, and they asked you, who was the meanest player you played with? And I had to chuckle because you said it was Eric Williams.
Oh, yeah.
And, and he was like, really? And because Will thought you were going to say Charles Haley. And so did I. But tell him why you said it was Eric Williams.
Big E, man. We called him Big E, dude. I didn't call him Eric. You called him Big E. He like Big Debo, like back in the dog. He was
what bite?
He was nasty, man. The things that before Eric Williams had the car accident. Yeah. Right. He had a huge car accident, tore up his knee, and it was
it was unfortunate.
Horrific. But before that time, man, he was the most dominant left tackle in the game. And it wasn't just dominance. It was he wanted to hurt you. He wanted to bury you. And he carried that same attitude in the locker room. So when he came in the locker room, you sort of didn't know he was always quiet, and he had that little voice, and you didn't know. I mean, that's how his voice was, man. He had that, dude sound like Michael Jackson, but he's 6'6".
Are you serious?
No way. He's 6'6". He'd beat your ass. I mean, I saw him hit people, man. Like, oh my God, what are you doing? Like, he was just that nasty, man. He would bury you on the field. And this is when I can tell you how bad, why we call him Big E, Big Nasty, is because I don't even know if I should tell this story.
Listen, we can save it for off air and maybe the exclusive members, but it's up to you, man.
All right, well, Reggie White, we call him the minister, right?
Minister of
Defense. Yeah.
And God bless Reggie, man. Reggie was a great man. I mean, a great, great man. But Reggie was the calmest man you will ever meet. Reggie White would pray for you, bro. Before the game, during the game, after the game.
After a sack.
After a sack, he's going to bless you in the name. You all right?
Yeah.
Reggie was the nicest guy. Reggie and Big E went at it in a game. And it was the first time that I saw Reggie White go outside himself. Like he was so mad. He walked during the game. He walked from the Packers sideline to our sideline trying to get at Big E. Trying to get at, because Big E just went at him during the game, spit on you, try to drive you when you're in the game, try to cut you from behind. He was just that nasty. So I knew, I was like, yep, you've been stamped as the nastiest dude in the league.
He did it to the preacher, man.
You did it to the preacher, dog.
Facts,
that big old club on his arm, too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Talent. He'd be a Hall of Famer. Hands down, he's a Hall of Famer.
He should be.
Yeah.
You know who's an interesting guy, and it's kind of just off the rails. I didn't even have this planned. Nate Newton was on the picture of you guys. I don't know if you remember that photo of you, Nate, Mike, Troy, and Emmett. And everyone forgets about Nate Newton, but he went to the Pro Bowl 6 times.
He was a good football player, man.
And he didn't get talked about much, but I enjoy listening to him on Dallas Cowboys. He's a funny guy.
A little road grader, man. And Nate knew what his limitations were, but when you talk about run blocking, oh yeah, he was gonna bury you when he had to run block, and just a talented dude. Nate's game was awesome when he was out there on the field. He was one thing, but when Nate really showed his value was not only on the games, but like on Mondays, during the week. Like Nate was that dude that kept everything loose. Everything, even in the worst of times.
It seems like
here come the jokes.
Crack a joke.
They're going. Jokes are going. And those are the things that there's so much value in that, man.
Right,
Just to
right,
be,
right.
keeping the culture right. I mean, Nate played a
Mhm.
huge role in what we did in the locker room.
That's awesome, man. That's
Yeah,
unbelievable.
that's a
man.
beautiful thing. Hey, Woody, I want to ask you a quick question.
Oh, you get your members ones in there before we head out here.
Yeah, I want to get these off. My guy Flor Perrier, he asked, it's a kind of tough one. He asked that, when they got the 55-man squad now, 53. He asked, like, what would be the last kind of 3 you think would be edging out, be the close ones to making the team, if you had a thought? And which
Wait. He lost me on that one.
You got, the 55-man roster, right?
Right.
So you got, like, the French players. Like, who would be your last 3 that you would be like, man, these 3 guys are kind of like bubble guys of being on that 55-man roster? And which veteran would be likely to lose his job this year?
Oh, for the Cowboys?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man,
it's early.
Yeah, exactly. It's so early right now.
Early.
We just haven't seen anybody. Like, I honestly, man, I mean, especially through COVID, I don't know who's who right now.
Yeah.
It's early. It's too early for that question. Yeah. And I'll tell you this. You asked me that question during the preseason, I still can't give you a legitimate answer. That's
just gotta play it out.
I gotta see them. I gotta see them when the bullets are actually flying and they're playing against the ones. Because we see there's so many preseason heroes. I've watched dudes in the preseason and go, oh God, he's the next coming to Michael Irvin. And then the season really starts, and you're like, oh,
he fold up like a wallet. Yeah.
Be like, this dude.
Why? Yeah, this dude. Why?
For real? You got a new coaching staff too, because it's kind of hard to tell what they like. We knew what Jason Garrett's staff liked, so you kind of pinpoint, a player, but it's tough. It's tough, and you play with Jason. You play with Jason, and he was beloved as a backup quarterback, not so much as a coach, though. But
great teammate, man. Look, I mean,
everyone says that about him.
Yeah, great teammate, and everybody you talk to. I mean, I talked to Mike Irv the other day, and he was talking about how much he loved Jason. And if you heard Irv throughout the entire last couple of years, and people were talking about Jason, he was in the corner. He was his defense attorney.
Yeah, Dion was very defensive. He said, y'all need to talk about him when he win.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Listen, and that's because Red's a good dude, man. I mean, and it's hard. Like, I know that the wins and losses weren't what we wanted, but as a friend, you always want your friend
to win.
Do well. It just didn't. I mean, honestly, it just didn't work out. As much as I love Red, his voice didn't sound out throughout that locker room, man. And they tuned him out, and it was time. And he'll tell you, it was time. It was time for him to move on and have his own start.
Yeah, you got. Yes. I know you're going to have Mike on. You said your show. You got to get. I'm ready for that episode, by the way. But you got to get Mike and Dion on there. You might not have enough air room to talk for that one.
That would be.
That would be. Oh, that would be
yoga fire.
See it, though.
Yoga flame.
Yoga flame.
You got to do them separately. There is no way that you're gonna have because I can't do a 5-hour show.
Yeah,
right. because it's gonna go. It's gonna go with that 49ers game. The PI. That's where they're gonna blow it up. Yeah.
Now I tell you what, like Mike is a dog. Mike, and again, one of the most competitive players I've ever played with. Best wide receiver I've been around. I mean, Mike used to school us. This is how Mike used to be. Mike would school you in practice, score a touchdown. He slammed the ball, talk all kind of trash, blah, blah, blah. But then he'd walk over and walk back to the huddle with you and say, hey, you know why I did, I ran this route. I saw your body leaning this way. But he would help you because his whole deal was, look, man, you're going to go see Jerry next week. I got to make sure that you don't give up them touchdowns to Jerry. So I'm trying to help you. He helped me especially early on in my career, he really helped me get better and spend the time. Now, Dion, totally different dude. Dion, probably the best football player, athlete he is by far the best athlete I've ever been around. Best hands, feet, speed. God said, hey, man, hands on you.
He took some time with him.
Dog took his time, and he would, he'd be talking trash during the game. Like I'm blessing this fool out there. And that's how he would talk, man. He talk. I'm laying hands on this, like he's preaching out there on the field and talking trash at the same time. But a tremendous football player, man.
Man, I wish you could have those mic'd ups when those. Oh my gosh, the way they have the technology now, we could have those mic'd up with your guys back in the day. Listen to the trash talking on the field. Oh my God, those will be classics. They would be. You would be playing those every single day.
Hey, Law, you want to shoot your member questions before we get?
I got Stello's. He's a big supporter of the channel. He said, "What did you say to Rodney Peete when you knocked him out of the game? You were jawing at him. You knocked him out, something like that."
Yeah. The crazy thing is I've known Rodney for a long time. You know, what surprised me was that I thought Rodney tried me. I'm serious. The problem was when I got to the sideline, they were like, "Dog, he absolutely tried you." Like, you know how your boys are.
Yeah.
Boys like, you
gonna let him do that?
Dog. You ain't a dog anymore. The quarterback tried you. So, but when he came up, I didn't think he was gonna put his head down. And I don't think, honestly, and Roddy told me this later on. He said after he woke up. A week later.
You're wrong.
I had to say it. But he did tell me, so I just didn't see, and I don't think he saw me until the last second. He was looking down the field, and then he saw me, and he was right up on me. And of course, it's like a slobbering dog when you see a quarterback out there as a defensive player. You see a quarterback
definitely
out on
back
the edge.
then.
You want to make sure that you give him everything you got, and I was able to, his head came down, and I was able to give him a good shot. But that taking that shot on him, man, that turned the game around basically by the fact that their number one quarterback was out.
Awesome. Got one more from Okoye, man. Okoye wants to say, "Hey, Darren Woodson, do you remember Scott Case laying out the Steelers in the Super Bowl? And what was his favorite hit? What was your favorite hit on another player that you can remember?"
Favorite hit?
I was just looking at that. That wasn't my favorite, but you laid out. I forget who it was against Seattle in your later years.
Yeah, but man, that was a scary.
That was a scary one. I know. That's why I said it's not a favorite.
Yeah, because he went in and he had a seizure. You know what? Look, the hit itself, I would never take back. That was, I was like, you ever hit a baseball or a golf ball and it was like it just comes off the club, like, man, I don't even feel like I swung it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
They beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, that's how that hit felt. Like, I didn't feel the hit when in that Seattle game. It was like bam, bam, and that was it.
Happened.
And I was like, man, that felt good. But then afterward, he had a seizure, and that's when I was like, man, that's I ain't playing the game for that, dog.
Right. What was your favorite one?
I ain't trying to hurt anybody like that. So that one, but I remember Deuce Staley. And it was, we were here in Dallas, and he came through the hole, and Deuce had this little wiggle to him, man. And he had like stop and go, and he was murdering us this day, man. So I'm playing deep, and I just flew up, man, and I caught Deuce when both his feet were off the ground. He was trying to making a move on somebody else, and then he hopped, and when he hopped, it was like a bap. And his feet came off the ground, man, and his back of his head hit the ground. And I had to talk. I was like,
you know what I love about that?
Exactly.
I love that his favorite hit was on an Eagle player. That's the best thing about it.
Eagles coach now, whatever he's doing now. Shout out to him, though.
Shout out to the hit.
Shout out to the hit. Yeah,
unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Hey, Darren, before we let you get out of here, I want to take too much of your time up here, but this has been awesome, first of all. This has been amazing. I've been loving kicking it with you right here. And let the people know where they can find your podcast. We forgot to tell them about that, where they can actually find it.
Right.
Yeah, you can find it on all the social media platforms, man. You can go to iTunes and find us there. You can go to YouTube, find us there on the Darren Woodson Show. We've only been going for 2 months, man. And again, it's not just sports that we're talking about. We're talking all verticals. And anyone that has an interesting story, they'll be on the show, and just tune into the Darren Woodson show, man. Look, I want to say this before we go, man.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't done with me now. We're gonna be back on this during the season.
There we go. There we go.
We back on, man.
That's what we're loving to hear, baby.
Yeah. Man, I appreciate what you guys are doing.
Thank you.
Keep serving the fans, man. I mean, keep serving. This is what the fans are just dying to hear. People talk about their Cowboys and just talk about sports in general, man. It just means so much to me personally. It means so much to be on this show, man. And
that's an honor to hear that.
Wow.
Because it means a ton.
You don't understand how we feeling.
Right.
hey, D, can I say something right quick, Woody?
Yeah.
We said, hey, Will said, hey, dog, Darren Woodson on. Dog, we was in our group text going, hell, we was going,
right. Like,
nope.
They thought I was lying, Woody.
He said, April Fool's is over, dog. Don't do that no more. And I'm like, he ain't lying, dog. He said it.
Hey, you just a real.
We appreciate you, man.
We really appreciate you so much, Woody, man. Remember, I forgot to say, where did the Woody name come from? I know you got to go, but yeah.
You know what, man? My daddy's name was Woody, man. My dad's, Woodson, so they used to call him Woody, Big Woody. And then my brothers, so my name was Darren because my two other brothers, they had the Woody name, especially my brother Todd, and he was a good athlete growing up. So they kept, Woody was that name for him. But it was probably in high school. I was Lil Wood. And then got into college, and I'm serious, dog. I can be somewhere, and people will say, Darren, I don't even know who Darren is. I've been going by Woody all my life. That's all I know.
Man. I believe it. I'm saying, wait, my pops is Big Will, and so I've been Lil Will for a long time till I became an adult, and I was like, you know what? Y'all gotta chill with the Lil Will now. I'm grown now, man.
I'm
grown. Y'all can just call me Will. So
I
feel you, man.
That's funny.
I feel you,
man.
Wow. So, guys,
really appreciate you, man.
Do you want to take a break here? Give our salutes to Woody off air, and then come back on and hop into the chat here and talk to the fans. The fans been loving this, Woody. So I'm glad you said we ain't done with you yet, man. I'm glad you said that.
We loving that. Woo, we loving that because we're gonna have a good time for the season, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And maybe you'll see us in Dallas. We're already trying to plan.
Are y'all coming?
Yeah, we coming.
Well, I'm right here in Dallas.
He already in
Dallas.
You
in Dallas?
Yes.
Yeah, Law's in Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm from Dallas, but we're gonna be when the games go down. We're gonna be down there too. So we all gonna have to link up, Woody, for sure.
I'm trying to get to the Pittsburgh one.
Law, where you at? Well, Law, we'll talk offline.
Yeah,
I want to give your address.
My God, Woody. Hey guys, stick around. We'll be back. We'll open up the lines probably, and we'll talk about this amazing interview here with Darren Woodson, man. Appreciate you, Woody, and
no problem.
They appreciate you.
Thanks,
all right, we'll be right back. Cowboys Nation, y'all ready to come back? If y'all ready to come back, let me get some fire emojis in there. Let me see some fire emojis up in that thing.
That be back.
Yeah, Darren Woodson. Man, unbelievable. Y'all ready?
Yeah,
They
man,
still in here. They still in here, man.
I told you, we trying to get all these 88s. You know, remember we talked about it with Skywalker. We was talking about getting the original 88 with the Michael Irvin 88, Dez 88. Let's get all the 88s.
Get them all up in here.
88 party.
Let's get them all up in this thing.
Let's get all these 88s up in the late night hype.
Hey,
yeah,
right here. Bring it.
Wait. Hey, listen,
yeah,
man.
man.
I'm sky high.
Look at all that fire.
All the
Sky
fire.
high.
Look at this. Yo got fire, man. Listen,
Yo got fire.
Again,
Yo got flame.
Y'all know how we do. We can't really get into the chat too much. We can't really thank you guys for the donations while we're talking to the guests all the time. But thank you.
Yes,
y'all was
you.
1K deep up in here tonight
y'all was
for
deep as
Darren
hell.
Woodson.
Y'all was thick. We loved it.
1K deep up in here total from across the channels to Facebook. Y'all were killing it in here. I was reading it. I was seeing the donations. Man, we thank you guys for all that. Y'all let us know how y'all felt about Darren Woodson. Y'all heard him, man. He wants to come back on. I mean, he's just a really cool dude.
Wow.
Unbelievable. I mean, y'all could attest for that off air. He's just down to earth chill. Just real chill, and I thought it was awesome. And we would definitely have him back on, and hopefully more to come, man. But
come on, season, please come, season.
We got
man.
He said he want to come during the season.
Hey, I already told you. Hey, we already gonna have a party. You already said we kicking it, so we all gonna have to meet up and go out to eat, and we gonna eat the expensive food.
Yeah.
We eating the expensive food with Woody.
Woody said, "Yeah, let me know." And I said, "Yeah, I'm right here in Dallas. I'm right here."
He said, "Here I am." Look, he said, "Look, you see Law put his up and said, here I am, here I am." Look, me and Will said, "We don't give a hell. We be down there."
You damn shit. I'll be right down there.
No, you ain't saying no more. Say you want to come kick it. Don't forget about you. Shoot, don't forget about us. We kicking it.
What is that?
We family now.
What he said? Don't be just saying y'all gonna do it. That's it.
Yeah, don't be saying
Don't you be saying it. We family now. We saying, don't you be saying it.
Yeah,
boy, we gonna be down there, man. Hey, so how did y'all enjoy that interview, man? A lot of people were in the chat, and they were absolutely loving what he had to say. You know what I loved about it is we've been hearing a lot about the recent Cowboys, right? The recent Cowboys, and he touched on that. But it felt good to kind of reach back a little bit and get some stories from that '90s team that we may have not have heard, and get some stories about Mike and E and all and not Jerry, but Jimmy and Troy and things like that. That's awesome to hear from a guy who lived it, who experienced it. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the interview was listening to Woody just go back there and effortlessly just boom, 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 boom. Just he probably has stories for days, but we want to keep his time up. So we'll maybe pull some more stories out of him on the next time he comes on the show. But what's your favorite part about the interview?
Man, you want to go first, James, or you want me to go?
Let me go first because you be killing it. I don't know how to follow you, man. You're so good with it. So I'm gonna just say, wow, so much was good. I think I'm gonna just say there was no particular part that really said I loved. I think just the openness, how we felt like family on there. I mean, we felt like we had been known each other forever. I think that's what I loved about it the most, that hey, yo, dog. And I mean, I just felt like we had known each other for a very long time. And I think that's the biggest thing that excited me out about everything, because he said too much. And he was like an open book, just like we had talked about off air. And I think that's the biggest thing I love, that we came in and it felt like family on the show.
Yes, man. I mean, I'm talking about confirmation too. The stories that we heard from others, and then when we was able to ask him about that, and he said, "Yeah, it's true." And my favorite part of the entire interview was right at the 57-minute or 58-minute. When he said, "Yeah, I'll be back." Like he's the Terminator all of a sudden.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Of course. Man, it just I'm still hyped about it, and the name goes well with what I feel it. The late night hype, man.
Yeah,
man, y'all just don't know, man. I grew up from Natchez, Mississippi. It's really not that many Cowboys fans in Natchez, Mississippi, and for me to try to find football games on Sundays on Mondays and then on occasionally Saturdays. But this was a good feeling, fam. And shout out to my guy Vach. He from Mississippi too, from the same hometown. But just to give you guys same building. I don't see him down in the box there, but I'm just trying to contextualize it.
Right.
It's not that many Cowboy fans in Mississippi, but for me to be able to talk to one of the legends, baby, I'm hyped. I'm crunk. I'm ready to hit somebody. I'm ready to put some pads on and hit somebody, baby.
Absolutely. I hate to say it, guys. Sorry, we're not going to open the lines up tonight. I thought we were
not tonight. That's too much.
Yeah, not tonight. Y'all. Not tonight. Not tonight. But I'm gonna bring the chat up so you guys can obviously see the chat. But no phone lines tonight. No phone lines. What about you, James?
I mean, like I said, this was just a great time. Donations been going nutty today.
List too.
Donations been nutty today. Appreciate everybody. There's been a lot of people, so I can't really get all names, but I've been typing, like my hand's been going nutty, like the donations been going nutty. So I've been appreciating y'all. But I just want to say this, that this on, like we've been telling y'all, not even bragging on that, but we've been telling y'all from the very beginning when we created this late night hype. This is the beginning. We wanted to bring this fire and flame on the truth, the realness to y'all. And you see how the doors open us. And guess what? This is only the beginning, y'all. Like we've been telling y'all. We've been telling y'all, Muggs Maxwell with the $28 holla for D. Woodson. I knew some, and I was going to ask somebody for it, but I just said it was going to be quiet. So you know when Michael Irvin comes, hey, you know what happens.
Shout out to a couple other
Michael Irvin.
Cowboys YouTubers in the building. Koye dropped in. He had
what up, Koye?
Question out and E2 Blue, man. E2, get with me, man.
What up,
you
E2?
Line it up, man. E2 Blue was in the building checking it out.
Yeah, we got to get E2 Blue, all four of us on here, because E2 Blue bring that heat, too.
Yeah. That's why I told him to hit me up.
Yeah.
Get him on here.
Yes, sir.
E2.
And just going through here, I love that $28 donation there, Muggs.
$28.
$28 Muggs. I knew somebody was going to do it. That's how you do it, Muggs. And shout out to everybody else, Floyd. Just so many names. I love all y'all. I appreciate y'all. Been typing the hell out of y'all. Yeah. And just I want to say one more thing. I appreciate my dogs. I want to tell you I appreciate my dogs, Law Nation and Skywalker Steel. Because once again, I'm going to say it like Smokey says, that's my dogs.
Yeah.
That's my dogs.
Hey,
that's my dogs.
There's another dog I gotta shout out.
Dog.
That's coming into this just helping out with the late night hype.
Oh.
And that's my man, the Cowboys Network.
Oh, because he pushed.
I mean, he's been a hell of a help.
Sosa.
Right there. We call him Sosa.
What's up, Sosa?
We call him Sosa.
Yeah. What's up, Sosa?
So shout out to my man.
Y'all check out his IG page. How many people he got?
His IG is ridiculous. Twitter, Sosa. He's Sosa.
Facebook, man. Make sure I go check that out, man. Period. And I love what he dropped today, because I know we ain't talking too much current Cowboy stuff, but the Dak Prescott thing went out in the media today. With the whole $45 million in the 5th year, and that sent the nation on a frenzy.
What happened?
They went crazy when they saw that number.
Repeat it, por favor.
Yeah, repeat that, because you he said repeat that, por favor.
Did I break up?
No, you broke up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I loved what Sosa is what we call him. What he dropped today on all across social media, because the Dak Prescott contract thing went out to the media today via 105 Through the Fan, Chris Sims, and Mike Fisher with the $45 million in the 5th year, and people just went nutty. And the Cowboys Network dropped a nugget, not even a nugget. He just dropped a truth bomb that relax, the 5th year, most likely that $45 million in 2024 or 2025 is going to be almost a steal, because most of the quarterback contracts at that point in time are probably going to be north of $50 million, close to $60 million. 5 years from now, go look 5 years before or ago. When was it Cam Newton had the biggest contract? Now Cam Newton's contract is like 12th. So shout out to him for dropping those the truth bombs, man.
But here's my thoughts on this Dak Prescott, the $45 million contract, what have you, proposal. It is a good counter proposal. So it seems as if though when you go with a high number like that, you probably meet in the middle.
It's the 5th year.
You have to say that, because it's not $45 million across the contract.
It's the 5th year, because the thing is with that 5th year, he's basically saying, in my opinion, from what I read and seen, is that if I'm going to miss out on this TV money and this deal money, then basically you're going to have to jack up that pay for me to go ahead and miss that deal because I'm going to miss out on that money. So I want to get paid handsomely to work that out. Is that correct?
But this is my only thing about it. This is a negotiation ploy with Jerry Wayne Jones.
You mean Steve
somehow
Jones?
Jerry leaked this to the reporter, and the reporter got it out to everyone. I don't think that Todd France, whatever the name of Dak Prescott agents, will go out there and say, put this 45 out there. No, I think that he tried to sell it in the water so we can have this friction amongst the fan base, because a lot of people just don't understand math. A lot of people don't understand the numbers, but they look at it and they say, man, 45. Man, we ain't talking about the president. We talking about this right here now. That's just how I look at it.
Just get the damn thing signed. I mean,
crazy.
I mean, we it's gone long enough. I mean, we're ready to get this thing rolling. You see that they were able. They had the article how they were opening the facility days in some form now, and everything's not back to normal. May not get back to normal for a while, but you see they're starting to put things in place. We need our quarterback, y'all. You feel me? We got to need our quarterback, man.
We got to bring Jerry Wayne Jones on tonight,
be on the show.
Man. We got to bring him on the late night hype.
Get your damn act together.
Yeah, we got to find a way to bring him on the show.
Now that'd be dope. If we got some Jerry Jones.
Oh, can you imagine, bro?
Dog.
I want Mason Glory help,
bro. Can you imagine?
Man, it'd be 20,000. There would be no YouTube. YouTube would crack.
Yeah.
We're gonna break the internet.
Well, why YouTube ain't working? Because Jerry Jones is on our show, fool.
That's how I feel if you get Dez on here or
no,
Mike
we getting Dez. We getting the week. Remember, we said we claim it. We speaking in the air. We claiming it. We speaking into existence. We claiming that. So y'all get ready. We claiming it. We don't know the date and we don't know the time, but we claiming it. And you gonna see. We claiming it. We claiming them.
Yeah, thou shall decree a thing, and it shall be established.
See, there you go, Law saying it is really put in the word.
Shout out to you, Greg, man. Thank you for making the donation to help grow the nation. Let me just run out some of these guys' names if y'all don't mind, man.
I'll use y'all two, and I'll be last.
Okay. Shout out to my dog Joshua Whitlock, man. Really appreciate you, Mike Brown, Robin, Reggie Hart. Reggie Hart. Press, really appreciate you. I can't say your last name, but your name is Press. Alex Jones, Robbie Radford, really appreciate you. Akuye, my bad. Okoye Media, really appreciate you. Termi Lava, really appreciate you. Robin, again, really appreciate everybody for making the donation to help elevate the nation. Really do, man, because with your love and adulations, you are able to see this type of platform existing. Man, I appreciate the donation. Let's go. The sponsors.
Right. Go ahead, brother. I can't pull mine up.
Okay. Well, let me give a shout out to my sponsors who went nutty with the holla for the donation. I got my dog Muggs Maxwell, Dan Lee. You know how we do for Floyd you know how we do, Floyd. I appreciate you so much coming through. And as I scroll down, let me give me some more. They're coming through. I don't know because I think they went away because we went to the feed. So many. So I apologize. I'm trying to go back through the feed, but all my names didn't come up. So I apologize. I can't go through them. It's not allowing me to. But if yours pull up and mine pull up, I'll finish it back here in a second. There it goes. I got it now.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry. There you go. I got it now. I'm so sorry. Here come the names. Hold on. Dan Lee, like I said, my dog. Eastside Harold. I love you, dog. That's why I love somebody who hate on you but still support. John Jones, you know how you do coming up on the rear. Joshua Whitlock came through. We appreciate you, big dog. Floyd Perrier, I like to say him again because that's how he does. And then I got to give my shout out to Vaughn from Shreveport with the donation on the Cash app. Appreciate you, dog.
Yeah.
Appreciate all the donations, man. Real rap. And y'all just rocking out with us for Darren Woodson. We got some other things lined up over the next couple weeks.
Yeah,
man.
Still
some soft confirmation. So we'll hold back a little bit on that. But man, this ain't it. I know Woody is like right, like it's Woody. But still, we still have some very interesting guests that are going to be through, and we're excited for that, and we're excited to give you guys, the coverage of the Cowboys, opinions of the Cowboys that is unique and different and fun and informative at the same time, also including you guys in all this. So We appreciate that, man. Any parting shots here? I know you about ready to get up out of here in a little bit, man. Silver Blue, big game.
Oh man,
shout out to you, Daniel Meza, man. He dropping $28 in the super chat.
Daniel Meza, what up?
I'm sorry, the Cash App, you know. And Lance Bell, he dropping some money over there, man. And you guys are continue to do this. As all as Will Hall. So all of you guys, thank y'all so much for dropping that dollars and the Cash App.
Shout out to the mods too. Shout
out to the mods
over here
holding it down.
Remember, 30%ers.
Yeah.
For the YouTube. 30%.
Again, I keep forgetting to put the Cash App names up here, man. Say the Cash App. Mine is Chill Will 1026.
Mine is Big Game James 72 $ Big Game James 72.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Law. Say
it.
LA.
Oh yeah. He's been in there 27 times, so we good.
Here you go.
Appreciate you.
Cash at me.
Yeah,
Hey, you guys know where to find me. LAWS Nation. You know, you can
ABCDEFG.
ABCDEFG.
No,
you can pull that up everywhere. You know, you pull it up on Instagram, Facebook, MySpace, Black Planet, Twitter, Twitch. You can pull it up everywhere. You can find lawnations.net. That's me all day, every day, baby. On fire. Stick and the Roku devices, man. Really appreciate somebody. Lance Bell dropped another $18 in the cash.
See what I'm saying? That's the worldwide. You killing the worldwide. You can always share the wealth. I've been real quiet tonight. I've been real quiet today saying the donation. You can always get it popping over here before we close off the show.
Man, we're gonna be reaching out to all of the former players. Like, come on out, man. Come on.
No, we are. That's definitely going down. But yes, like Skywalker said, just my quick parting shot, just keep on tuning in for this late night hype. Keep on supporting our individual channels when we're going live individually. Still bringing you that heat on the Cowboys news. Still keep on supporting and keep on share. How we going to keep on getting this late night hype? Get out there on Twitter. Get out there on YouTube. Get out there on your Facebook. Get out there and tell everybody about this damn late night hype every damn Tuesday and say it's about to go down, because this is only the start, y'all. With these guests, it's going to be even more fire and breakdowns. We're going to, man, are you ready for this?
Shout out to, is it Terminova? I can't pronounce it right, but
Young Wilson.
Terminova. I couldn't pronounce it either.
He said, I'm pulling up the Jesse Holly show after this. He missed it, so he's going to run it back. I highly recommend that.
You better bring that beat back. That's true.
You know what we should do? Is it Hype Squad or what name did we went with?
We ain't go one yet.
We ain't go with one yet. No. Is it Hype Nation, Hype Squad?
We can't do it on the fly, Law.
Well, okay, we got to go down and sit this thing out.
Yeah, have to sit it out.
But I do know the power of the nation, though. I do know that everybody that's under the sound of my voice, y'all can all go and tweet at Daz. Y'all can all go and tweet at Mike Irvin, the playmaker.
We already got somebody champion on Twitter. He's tweeting Des Bryant for the last 5 days.
KMT72, my peoples.
Yeah.
Keep on going nutty. And what I love about KMT, he was like day 7 of the tweet of Des Bryant.
He's like,
KMT, don't stop. Don't stop.
So
get out there and retweet these guys and say, y'all need to get on the late night hype. They had Holly, and when it was funny when he was talking about Quincy, I want to say, yeah, we talked to Quincy. I talked to Quincy, and I had a conversation with Quincy. I wanted to say, but that's real. And guess what? We might have. I talked to y'all. I know this on the fly. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt y'all. But I talked to Anthony Wright. I had him on my show last year. Anthony Wright. He was a former quarterback with Quincy Carter and those guys as well. And it was a big thing because after I had him on the show, he got shot after that.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? And he got shot like 3 times. You know what I'm saying? And he made it back. And he has great, keen insight on the game. And I asked him, I said, you want to come back on? He said, hell yeah. So we can make that happen too. And he's got some insight on how to be a quarterback for real. He's a lot better than people like you portray. He's a good quarterback, man, for real.
Man, it's good stuff, man. Real good stuff.
Hey, man, the chat is funny. Vaughn from Shreveport, my Cash App is Chill Will 1026. Chill Will 120 or 1.
Oh, he got you. He just hooked me. I appreciate you, Vaughn.
Crack it up at Cowboy Marty, man. Cowboy Marty said Skywalker got on his Lionel Richie button-up shirt. Y'all better watch out.
He looking like Lionel Richie with that light skin too.
Yeah.
All
Hey,
night
yo,
long.
Hey, yo,
all
they
night.
be coming for me. They be
All
coming for me.
night long.
Look, the other night, I know we going into the Comedy Central, but y'all know how we do towards the end. The other night, right, I said, I feel like putting on my hoodie tonight. It was a little hot down
Man, where
here.
your hoodie at, man?
So,
I'm dressed in uniform
I know. But the other night I had on my other shirt. Yeah, it kind of snug on me a little bit.
Okay.
They was in there. Hey, Sky, why you got on the medium? You know what I mean? Or Sky, why your shirt so young? I'm like, bro, what
He said the shirt was young.
Damn.
Similac shirt.
I just be coming for, brother. Good Lord, oh yes, shout out to Fatimus Prime. He's a new Guardian member on the channel. You kind of went on that the channel membership before the show opened up. So thank you, man, for joining the channel membership. Appreciate that. All the channel members, we're gonna have some behind the scenes footage for each of y'all on our individual channels. So definitely be on the lookout for that, man. Woody was just as entertaining and cool and down to earth off air as he was on air. So get ready for that. I'm just reading some of these comments, man. Ready always sticking up for Team Light Skin over here, man.
We appreciate Team Light Skin. We Team Brown Skin over here, though, baby.
Yeah, chocolate over here.
We chocolate thunders. We chocolate boy wonders over here, though.
I'm chocolate, man.
We chocolate boy wonders.
Yeah, wonders.
Texas said Skywalker fresh and clean. Listen, I had a headband on the other night because I wasn't feeling the lineup. I said, nope.
Yeah.
I said, let me put the headband on. But today I said, Woody, let me get.
You gotta get the button up.
I see you over there, Jessica. I really appreciate you on the Facebook, man. I forgot to give my Facebook people some love, man. I know we on our way out, but I gotta give them some love. Richard, Richie, who this is? Toby. Oh, Toby is always there.
Toby is. I love some Toby. He runs the flag.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He runs the flag like George Teague ran the flag. And guess what?
Yeah.
Shout out to my Mexican Robin Salazar. He said Team Mexican up in here. Yeah.
There you go, Team Mexican. I got Mexican in my family too.
Hey yo, Fatima's Prime. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
Jimbo
Fatima's Prime.
and,
I gotta give to Fatima's Prime. This is the best one, bro. He said Sky got on that mushroom shirt that Pops had on in Boomerang. You got to coordinate. You gotta coordinate.
Damn, it do look like that damn shirt.
It do.
Hey, shout out to Fatima's Prime because he came a premium member over here. He beat Big James Supreme. So I appreciate Fatima.
Yeah. Shout out to you, Floyd, for dropping 10 over. Man, boy,
Gambino.
They dropped
Gambino.
Stevie said, yo, y'all gotta show Skylar and Stevie. It's all good, man. We as long as y'all donate to the nation, that's cool with me, man. It don't even matter. You know what I'm saying? This is a beautiful
Hey, I told everybody I got 2 Light Bright, so it's all good. Team Light Bright.
Yeah, you better, man.
Hey, Marcus, I heard a woman over there got you. Swoop. So you gotta. He was a good guy. You gotta reverse that. You gotta reverse that.
Hey, you know what we ain't did before we get out of here?
Bang.
You know what we ain't did before we get out of here?
What we didn't do that night.
We ain't said we ain't give everybody a shout out where the hell they been, where the hell they from before they location donation for all the nation. Donation.
Hype Nation, baby.
Where y'all from?
Shout out to Yvonne from
James Black. I forgot.
Donation on
Type that
Cash
shit.
App. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Cash App over here too. Remember, I don't like the 30%.
Rios, appreciate you. Ricardo.
Ricardo said, my man Big Game James look like Juicy J.
Juicy J. I'll take that when he rich.
Yeah, Juicy J.
I'll take Juicy J. I love some 3-6.
I already know. I'm glad I got the mic in front of my face. So
listen, I'm about to say, I don't see nobody coming for law. I got
one. We already know what law is. We already know what law is.
Somebody said Sky look like T.I.'s son. Like, y'all, come on, man.
Yeah, you can get that one too, though.
Can y'all get law? Wait, this way. Can y'all get this man?
Anyway, I know they're gonna get me. No, because I know they're gonna get me because I told you some cats already hit me with the Dave Chappelle for a long time.
Man, we got Ohio in the building. Texas. Where we at? A lot of Texas. Whole lot of Texas.
Mexican,
Georgia. Brooklyn, New York in the building. 228. Virginia 276. Houston.
BA.
Philly. Cap City. Garland,
Philly,
Texas. Lancaster, Texas.
Tennessee.
Austin, Texas.
Damn, Texas.
Orlando, Florida. Dallas. Oak Cliff, Texas.
Oak Cliff in, baby.
Anaheim, New Jersey.
Anaheim, New Jersey. Dirty Jersey.
Where the mall's opening back up. He ain't too happy about that.
Louisiana.
Kilgore, Texas. Am I saying that right?
Arizona.
Where we at here? Paris. We got Paris in the building.
Is it real Paris?
That's Paris.
Is the real Paris, or is it Paris, Texas?
Might be Paris. I ain't from Texas. I ain't know that.
Because it's two type of it's Lancaster and it's Lancaster. It's both of them.
We have a Lancaster in PA.
We got a Lancaster in Ohio.
No, they call it Lancaster.
They call it Lancaster out here.
Las Vegas, the UK. What time is it over there? Shout out to the UK. I don't know if
shout out to shout out to the UK Cowboys fans too. Shout out to them over there. That's the brotherhood.
Of course, we got Louisiana,
and we got Toucan, Arizona.
You don't know about that, James. That was early in the show. We only had like 500 people in here, so the other 500 don't know about that. Keep it that way.
East Dallas all day, Midland, Texas. What's good?
See, look, as soon as I say that, a couple tough ones come up.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna try.
You got him. You got it.
I can't say this one, man. Texarkana? Texarkana? Is that Texarkana, Texas? Did I say that right?
Texarkana.
Texarkana? Espanola, New Mexico. Espanola. I got that one right. North Carolina.
Hey, New Mexico. I was born in Alamogordo, baby. Alamogordo, Mexico.
Shout out to you. Oh, damn. Is it Tuscan? Tucson. See, I messed up again. Tucson.
See,
Tucson.
You
jinxed bring it up, man. God dang it.
He said
Tucson, Arizona, South
He said Toucan
Jersey.
again.
I'm going to just go right over that.
Jersey.
Saginaw, Michigan, Tennessee.
Don't ever say that again. Arizona.
Nope. Yep, Arizona. Savannah, Georgia, Brownsville, Texas,
Yeah.
D.C.
He do look like
Corpus
Lil
Christi.
Romeo.
Little Romeo.
No.
They say, my dog, the bodyguard, said you look like Masterpiece, son. Lil Romeo.
FB County Jail. What's good with you, man?
Hey, you should feel good about that, Will.
No,
they
got
get the ladies.
All that back in the day. All the
They get the
brothers.
ladies,
I
dog.
got Bow Wow. I got Romeo. I got Smart Guy. You know how many times in the hallway he's a smart guy.
Smart guy.
My ears was bigger. My ears looked like this back in the day too.
I love it. I love
all the
it.
light skin jokes.
Shout out to you, Young Wilson, man. Yes, indeed, boy. All the light skin.
This
All
is
y'all.
freaking beautiful.
See, look, Josh just said it. He said a grown version of Smart Guy. Listen, I got that, Josh. I got all that.
He said, "I got it." He said, "Look, he said, I got it. Get on." He said, "Get on Team Darkies over here."
Yeah, please get on James Harden, fam.
Damn. He said, "Get on, fam."
Get on.
I gotta give y'all the Mike Herb laugh. I can't wait if we get the playmaker, man. Ooh,
Lord, how murdy!
Lord, how murdy! Y'all just don't know, man.
Lord, how murdy if we get the playmaker, dog.
Listen, I'm just going.
I think I feel it.
I feel it too.
I feel it.
Just see it,
man. Somebody said, Rich said, someone cooked this man. He talked about you, Law, because they get on me. All right, listen.
Shout out to you, man.
Stelio said the crack on Tucson won't get you no love, big game. But see, that's not the see. What he's doing is he cracking on me.
I'm not cracking on Tucson. I'm cracking on Toucan.
My Cowboy Marty wants to know, since we in Comedy Central right now, Law, can you do Jason Garrett? Can you do a new version? He said a new version of Jason Garrett.
How you doing, guys?
Everybody hates
I just hated that. We'll lose by 10 points, and he'll get out there on the press conference, and his first words will be, "How you doing, guys?" And I just wish there's somebody in the stands or in the audience say, "Not well," you know.
The second words was, "Well, we just didn't execute."
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
No shit.
Somebody got a good one for you, Law. Smokey said you look like Darrell Reeves. You do.
Ooh, with the beard.
With that beard now?
With the beard. Let me see.
I can see that. As soon as he said it, I seen all of it.
Ooh, that's a good one. Texas Bread said Law looked like Black Thought.
Black Thought.
The big game
he don't know nothing of Black Thought. He don't know nothing. Law don't know nothing about Black Thought.
Oh, that's right. He from the Law from down south.
Yeah,
Black
South,
Thought.
You should know about Black Thought, but I don't think you know about Black Thought.
I don't know Black Thought, man.
Go listen to him, and he'll get your mind
cold
right.
with it. He cold with it.
What? Black Thought? What? His little go listen to him, man.
Wow, I'm shocked. Yeah, go plug him in, Playboy. He's
you won't take him out. I guarantee you won't take him out. He's gonna speak to you.
Yes, indeed.
This dude John said y'all need to get Stephen A. Smith.
Oh my
Lord, have mercy. That's when we doing that, dog. We syndicated. We syndicated.
Syndicated in.
We syndicated in, y'all.
Listen, man.
We're trying to get Novacek, Moose Johnson. He said Moose Johnson. One day at a time.
But you know,
it's been the day. We want some new guys too.
Let's
CD Lamb.
Let's get some Keyshawn Johnson, man. Let's ride out to some of those.
Oh Lord.
Yeah, let's get Keys out there. Then we slide our way up.
Keys open doors.
Keyshawn don't hold back.
You don't hold back.
He really don't hold back. He really don't hold back.
He holding back in the league, so he ain't gonna hold back. So that'd be interesting. But
that's a I don't know about
Mendoza.
that one.
I love that name, Mendoza.
The Mendoza.
I think it's because I'm watching too much Low Down Dirty Shame. Mendoza was on there. Y'all remember that movie, Low Down Dirty Shame?
Oh, I remember that movie.
I definitely remember
when
that
I fell in love with Jada. Wasn't that's when Jada was on that one, right?
Low Down Dirty Shame.
I think that was her first breakthrough.
Yeah, and then he said, "Oh, I see something has been growing." What are you talking about, Jada? Yeah,
that's when Jada and Pac was on that.
Yeah,
on that little thing.
No, it was Jada and one of the Wayans.
James said,
that was all the Wayans brothers.
All the Wayans brothers.
That was Poetic Justice.
James Rogley said, "I would love to see Sky just cook Dan Orlovsky live." See, James been following me on Twitter and shit, and sitting watching my shows. I can't stand.
Is that James Rogley?
Rogley.
Yeah,
man, I would love to get.
I F's with him.
I would love to get him on here, man.
I F's with James. He's the guardian.
Because he came on. Dan Orlovsky came on and said all this was for show. The whole Dak versus Wentz thing for top 5, him and Foxworth. He admitted that they put that together. So all that bull crap, I would love to. Dan, come on, please. I think he's a smart guy, but he admitted that this is just for entertainment. So screw the entertainment. Give me the real, fam. Stop eating, Carson Wentz and give me the real. So,
hey, boo thing. Is there any more of them ice cream drumsticks?
All right, man. We done turned this thing into Late Night Hype, Comedy Central.
That was good. Y'all got good jokes.
That boy good.
He good.
They are good, man. They be roasted in here.
Hey, we appreciate y'all once again for being in there today, man. We love y'all.
Y'all was in there deep.
Y'all deep.
Cram. Hit 1K. Cram. Hit 1K. So,
we love y'all.
S&D, man.
We love y'all.
We love y'all.
Any other parting shots on the way out? Y'all know when the music drop. Y'all know what that means.
Nope. Just that we love y'all and stay tuned for the next round.
Share it, and then don't forget to hashtag the Late Night Hype.
Hashtag Late Night Hype.
Yeah. Bug all of those celebrities. Tell them, come on. Even reach out to LeBron. Get down, James. Reach out to him.
Hey, Dan Lee, already hollered at Lucky Whitehead. It could be soon. I'm on it.
If you haven't liked it, like it, share it, subscribe it, and tell them what they rocking with, Law.
Nothing but the best.
Yes,
let's go. Somebody's